Hey, cool cats and kittens! Happy Wednesday and welcome back to another amazing episode of Musicians Hangout with your host, Crash Fistbite, Dylan Plays a Victim, and the Booty Pop Moopsie, and Maxine Maxwell of the Maxwells.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It's so great to be back on our regular scheduled program.
Yay! And thank you guys for letting me have last week off for my birthday. And thank you for tuning in to our montage.
Oh, the montage was super fun, but I missed you so much.
I missed you too, but
we got to celebrate with our girls' weekend and it was amazing.
It was so rad.
Oh, so great to celebrate you together. And
yes,
always a pleasure, my friend.
Oh.
All right, speaking of pleasures, I'll go over our mission statement and then we'll bring our guest to the show. Our mission statement here on Musicians Hangout is to be part of a revolution to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. Tonight, we have Cam from Cutthroat Conspiracy.
Hey, Cam. Hey, Cam.
Hi, guys. How are y'all?
Good. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely. So where are you broadcasting from tonight?
This is technically my office. I do, some streams here for our games. I do some vocal stuff in here. So, yeah, I've got some memorabilia back there.
Love it.
Some junk in some of the totes and wires, but yeah, this is kind of my little cave.
I love it. Well, we get to, hang out with you in your cave tonight. So, Cam, tell us a little bit about Cutthroat Conspiracy.
How'd y'all start?
We're a metalcore band out of Fort Worth, Texas. We've been around 8 or 9 years here in DFW, and honestly, we try and write some, I guess, emotionally evocative songs. A lot of stuff about self-empowerment, and maybe bring in, write some lyrics about, being a human conspiracy and trying to, better the environment we live in. On top of that, so that's
cool.
That's awesome. I really love that.
Yeah, what a great mission that you guys have.
Right?
We try.
So you guys are from Texas, and you guys play festivals there?
We've played a few festivals. We played So Up Music Festival 2017 and 2019.
Nice. Okay.
We did a little Battle of the Bands thing to get on to those bills. We've played the Battle for Vakken here, and just a bunch of little local festivals here and there.
So just kicking ass everywhere, huh?
Trying to. We enrolled ourselves in that Metallica headbang for the highway thing about 3 or 4 years ago, and we made it, top 3 for Southwest.
What?
Oh, that's nice.
Sweet. That's awesome.
The guys that ended up representing Texas, I believe it was Messer that ended up taking that one home and went on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Isn't Blistered Earth from Washington? They pretty much have that on the lockdown.
I have no idea. I've never heard of them, to be completely honest.
They are a Metallica tribute band.
Really?
They are so good that Metallica endorses them.
Wow, that is super.
They give them instruments and all sorts of stuff.
Oh my!
I'm glad they support someone instead of suing them.
Right. I've seen that through at least the last decade, maybe a little bit more, maybe 15 years, that Metallica has been way more supportive of projects like that. Mm-hmm. And for, helping others. They have the that foundation that they started, Helping Hands or something like that. I know I'm saying it wrong, but helping other musicians, helping young musicians get started in music and funding music programs nationwide.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I love Metallica.
Obviously.
Yes.
You're literally wearing your Metallica shirt right
I am. So I went to the Metallica concerts in Seattle. Gosh, was it 3 weeks ago now? And oh my God, still on cloud 9 over that. Seriously. So.
Yeah, I think they did a year or two ago here in Texas. They did that free UFC opening event. That's the last time I remember
Oh,
them actually being down here.
that is so
Oh,
cool. I
they
love
need,
that.
they need to go more. They need to get to Texas a little bit more, I think.
They might be headed there. They just announced tour dates for next year.
Hmm.
So they might be headed your way. I know that they're going to hit up some of the southern states. So I can't remember the list, but I know that Seattle's not on there again. I'm like, no. I'd have to go like to Denver. Denver's like the closest place to see them again.
I'm totally down to go to Denver.
Man, it's just
We
a
can
hop,
stay
skip,
at,
and a jump,
we
man.
can stay at my family's house
Well, it's a direct
in
flight from
Boulder.
Seattle to Denver. It would be pretty fun.
Washington to Colorado's what, 6 hours?
So flight wise, it's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Ah,
Yeah, no,
So
it's
like
really close.
really,
It's only like 2 states away or something.
yeah. They just diagonally hit it up. It's like,
Yeah, Idaho is pretty small because you go like through the little tip.
yeah, yeah.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Well, back to Cutthroat Conspiracy.
Yes, I was just
I
going to say.
see.
All
I
good.
see on your title that you're the vocalist.
yes.
That's awesome.
I do more of the guttural stuff.
Okay.
My buddy Joe and Matt, the guy on the drums, and the fellow on lead guitar, pop in, and they do a lot of the melodics in the background.
Oh, I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of layers to your music. It's really good.
Yeah.
We try as long as it's not doesn't sound messy. If it's good, busy, and not messy,
It
busy.
doesn't sound
no.
cluttered.
Mhm.
No. Sounds
It's-
sharp. You guys
yeah.
sound good. Like you're really good.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of geeking out that you're on our show, so thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good following. And speaking of followings, like what platform do you use the most? Like you mentioned TikTok. So are you guys pretty popular on TikTok or
I think we're at 1,535. I just started doing TikTok
Okay.
I think the beginning of the year, and
Not bad.
that's been all right. We've earned enough of a following there where they let us do our live streams. So when we're not live streaming our
cool.
practice sessions and our jam sessions, I'll try and do. I think this Friday I'm gonna go live. I got myself a chest mount, so if you wanted to watch, you could be a vocalist for a day and get my POV.
Ooh, okay.
And try and get a lot of the guys more interactive in that, because gigs don't pay as much as they used to, especially on a local scene. So trying to garner a following or subscriber based content has been the way to go to see recurring income, so we can at bare minimum break even to keep our production costs low and keep on being able to churn stuff out.
Yeah. Merch sales usually keep bands afloat, but I've noticed that with the economy and inflation, etc., that less people are buying merchandise too. Have you seen that?
It's not the merchandise I have seen fall when people can show up. It's the pre-sales for events.
It's the pre-sale ticket sales.
Well, a lot of the bands were canceling during at the beginning of COVID and all throughout, and some of they ended up having the venues had to insure all these shows, so the fans kind of got really fickle about pre-ordering a ticket, especially if it was to see a national headliner, because there was no telling when they would bail. And so that's been a struggle since things mostly went back to normal, depending on COVID 2, COVID EX3, or whatever number they're on now. I just putting pre-sale tickets into somebody's hands. It's never been the same. It always looks, and the fees have definitely been outrageous, Jeff.
Absolutely.
But getting pre-sale tickets into somebody's hands has been a pain in the ass.
You're paying $75 for fees.
Yeah, we anything we do, we end up with a licensing agreement for the shows that we're on, so we push it through our personal website to try and alleviate that, or even go the Cash App or hand delivery route. But even then, if we're the direct support for a national act that somebody wants to see, it's still fickle. I'm paranoid that right up until the day of the show, when I get the last minute buy-ins, when people don't see that the event's been canceled, that there's anybody going to be there. Facebook interest has kind of dwindled down and pre-sales is down, so it's always like you don't know if you're going to be playing to an empty auditorium or not until you
Right.
show up.
Well, and pre-sale is so important for the artists themselves because sometimes that's all the artist is going to make is the pre-sale, and then the venue, booking agent, everyone else involved is making the door. So
Yeah.
if you wait for the door, then the artist that you're wanting to see isn't making that money.
No.
Nope. And you just got to really kind of enjoy it and, have your subscriber content and, have your merch in line for people that do show up. So, the people that are motivated to come out are always been really supportive and, picking up merch, and we try and keep everything stocked up as much as we can, get a new t-shirt design up for everything, lighters, bottle cap openers, pins.
Oh, wow. You got a lot.
You need to get panties.
We drop ship puzzles. Oh, we got panties. We drop ship them. It's just weird having, 5 guys and, maybe my wife out there just hawking panties at our booth, but
shout out to the wives.
We got shower curtains, bathrobes, anything I could slap a logo on. We have a good relationship with a drop shipper, so
that's cool.
We can get any kind of weirdness.
That's very good. So you guys have recorded. I saw that you guys released some stuff earlier this year. Are you currently recording anything?
Yeah, we just wrapped up recording and filming of a music video for our next single. It's going to be called Dead Weight. That's going to be dropping October 18th. I don't even think that announcement's officially hit our Facebook yet. Yeah, we switched over to, keep everybody interested instead of, doing a year to write and record a full album and, having it hit the algorithm and peter off in a month or two. We're trying to release a new single every quarter as best we can, just to with a video and the playthroughs and the behind the scenes stuff, so we can have a constant stream of content for everybody, so we don't lose an audience and nobody gets bored.
That's awesome.
Smart.
That is very smart. Well played. Yeah. So with that, you're doing singles. Do you do any EPs or full albums or just the singles?
We released our we did some when we got on the festival circuit, we did some EPs, and it was just, the hand burn, right out on it with a permanent marker kind of thing. And we did one of those, and we finished our first full-length studio album. Hold on, it's behind me. In 2021, and got that put up. They were kind enough to mail me, which pointing inverted this thing.
Oh yeah, it is backwards planned here.
Oh yeah, backwards.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, left is right.
We did this EP first. It was a little 5-track EP. It had Decadence, Become a God, Summit, Suffering Through, and One Must Call on it. And then we did that full length. We had 13 tracks on it back in 2021. So
nice, cool.
Doing the best we can with what we got.
Well, and when you record, are you guys in studio or do you guys do it at a home studio?
We built a home studio, and we leased a rehearsal space about 20 minutes from my place, Platinum Rehearsal in North Richland Hills here. And we pay Russell Haller. He's done quite a bit of good stuff. I think he's doing some work with Chad Gray at the moment, but he does our mixing and mastering on our final products. So
nice.
Okay.
He's good people.
That's the hardest part of making an album, I think, is mixing and mastering.
Tedious.
Yeah,
especially the mastering, like that is like all the super fine tuning.
Yeah.
Well, and doing that from an immersive perspective, like if you're in the band and everybody's, if you're consulting 5 other people, the guitar player's gonna think the guitars aren't loud enough.
More emotionally involved in the song.
Yeah, so a third party perspective is kind of necessary to get a good output. So we appreciate having that aspect. We could do it ourselves, but it's never turned out exactly the way we wanted it as a collective. So
well, and I found that because like my band does my husband does our recording. So we are a home studio, but like getting lost in the mixing and mastering can like almost drive you to this point where it's never good enough. Whereas if someone else does it, then you're not the one that's like, you're not blaming yourself for it not sounding the best that it does. When someone else does it, it's like, it just is, I don't want to say it's better, but it's like just a weight lifted off of you more so.
Yeah, no, Absolutely. Every indie artist I've ever talked to, even guys that do folk punk that are mixing their own stuff in their living room or whatever, they'll get asked, "Hey, do you listen to your own music?" Yeah, about 8,500 times while I'm
Yeah.
recording my videos and stuff, and then never again.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much. Yeah.
Ugh.
Right. It's done with listening to yourself. I get
I
that.
hate recording an album because like the listening and mixing. Can you run that back? Can you run that back? Can you run that back?
Over and over. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I hate
yeah, we,
it.
we just self shot and produced the video we're about to release in October. And
Oh,
just,
love that.
in that room, getting each different individual shot and mashing everything up, we probably 6 hours in that room. That song got played
Oh, easy.
4 minutes,
Oh,
30 seconds on
yeah.
repeat for 6 hours. Absolutely not.
Yep, been there with music video production myself. I've done one video where we're shooting it live like that. Otherwise, a lot of my other videos are very theatrical,
Mhm.
but and like acting going on instead. But like the one that we did, it was like about a dozen times having to you know redo it because we were using three 360 cameras in three different locations, and we had to like get it right
Mhm.
all the way through. And our producer's awesome. He's such a sweet guy, but he knew like it could just be better. And I'm like the hit it and quit it type. I'm like, no, it sounded good. Like the third time I was like super warmed up and it was hit, but like I think it was the ninth take he took that was just like spot on. So I'm glad he pushed us to do it like at least a dozen times. But
Mhm.
woo, that was intense. It was hours of work. Like I just appreciate not having to do it myself.
If recording's like hours, I can only imagine music videos.
Oh,
The only music videos my bands have are just the live at a venue ones.
Yeah.
and those are super, challenging to record so that they sound good,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
so kudos to those who can produce that and make it sound nice and capture us in our element.
yeah.
All right, so I had a question about Cutthroat Conspiracy's name. How did you guys get that name?
Honestly, sitting, we'd written 3 or 4 songs when the band was in its infancy. Getting everybody together on Craigslist and figuring out if we hated each other or not. And before it came time to gig, we still didn't have a name. And honestly, it was just okay. We're gonna lock ourselves in this room until something hits.
Yeah.
And there were some very, very bad names that were pitched that I didn't like, and we were about to say fuck it and go with Barbecue Bob and the Spare Ribs, and that's and just to force us to play a show that way.
Oh
And
my God.
hey, if you hate the name, someone in the crowd can pitch it better. But uh, yeah, it just kind of came out. There were probably 85 names, different band names, potential band names, stuff. We went and did a band name generator, did probably every little Facebook type thing that you could do.
Wow.
Like, hey, how to find your stripper name? Well, it's your last name and then the street you grew up on type shit. And
Okay.
Cutthroat Conspiracy honestly just came out. I mean, everybody's got a little bit of tinfoil hat in them, and we were,
I love that.
Like, I'm wearing one now.
Yes.
yeah, people getting distracted watching videos about conspiracy
Oh
stuff.
my
And
gosh, I could get lost in
it
that.
just came to a head. Oh yeah, the algorithm will make you get lost in that.
It will. It wants you to. Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. I dig that.
So we have
Hey, Nando.
Fernando.
Good
And he
evening.
said, Cutthroat Conspiracy. Just checked you out on YouTube. Excellent. Thanks to musicians Hangout for sharing the great Northwest music so us East Coast people can get to feel it. Cheers to you all. I'm a fan. And thank you, Hernando.
Thank you, Fernando.
Aprecio.
I'm glad you dig the tunes, my guy.
Yeah,
And your name is super fun to say.
it is.
Fernando de Precio.
Love it, love it. So it's interesting you said like in the infancy of your beginnings that you guys found each other on Craigslist. Tell us more about that.
Yeah.
How did your band form?
I was in my first band was called Subversive Underground, and a guy I worked with. He worked at AT&T, and heard me singing at one of his house parties while I was litty and shitty. He's like, "Hey, you're actually honestly not bad at that," and they weren't really digging the vocalist that they did have on board, and so they had me come and do an audition while they were being shady and kind of weaseled them out. But I went and showed up and I did it. They liked me. They wanted to change directions. And then when push came to shove, they never fired him. They didn't have the heart to. So he and I ended up collaborating together and becoming friends. And I ended up having to work my way up from doing alternative percussion. I played tambourine and synth in this very first band for about a year and a half until they started producing
triangle and the weird thing.
Yeah, they're on my personal YouTube. You can still see them, the old live videos at machine shops and stuff like that.
Nice.
Okay.
But I played with that band that turned into Ever Nothing, and it went from I slowly started writing in my own lyrics, and Philip and I would trade off doing vocals, and it ended up going that way until I took over fully, and he moved on to synth, and we changed the band's name to Ever Nothing, and did that for 2 or 3 years. But once that petered out, we had some people move to Austin, so the drummer and I at the time decided to, I've always liked music that would put you to sleep and kick your ass at the same time, a la Kill Switch, Alive or Just Breathing type album, and some Soil Work and stuff like that. And he and I kind of started the hunt that way for a new unnamed project. And there's all types of groups on Facebook, but it's usually left for people to just promote and throw shitty flyers out there and throw equipment out there. And I think the only two options to find musician classifieds at the time, 8-9 years ago, was Reverb Nation and the want section in Craigslist, and those were the only two things we had luck with. We found our first guitar player that way, and our second guitar player messaged us on Facebook and then or messaged us on Craigslist via email, and then we didn't respond, and he ended up reaching out direct to the band probably 2 weeks after we got our name. And Matt's still with me today. But
nice. I'm glad that he did not give up trying to contact you guys.
Yeah, right.
Good for him. That's fucking tenacious right there.
Yeah, no. The beginning of the band was much more thrash than it is right now. It's a lot faster, a lot angrier, and he liked that vibe, and we just kind of fused his sound and that thrash sound into what we currently have now. He's still our lead songwriter and produces most of our stuff, my buddy Matt.
I dig that development throughout the years when bands, are getting to know each other and getting closer, and working together on writing, that it morphs into that.
Yeah, I mean, I equivocate any band relationship to a marriage. You're feeling each other out emotionally until you get comfortable.
It is and be like marriage.
You start telling secrets. I don't believe in guilty pleasures, but a lot of people are like, I'm gonna hide the fact that I like Kesha, or I'm gonna hide the fact that I'm a secret Swiftie or some shit like that. And I don't buy that, but I don't buy into that, but a lot of people do. And my buddy Julian, he got box seats to Taylor Swift probably 6 months ago with him and his wife.
Wow.
He made himself a Taylor Swift death metal shirt and everything, and went and sat
right on.
That's hilarious. Probably paid $62,000 for those tickets.
Oh, I don't doubt that in the slightest. He's one of those guys that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy and can.
He just got off the guest list. He's just. Here's your pass, sir.
That's a good show.
Yeah, no, he went to art school in California, so he made a lot of decent connections, and had some people come through that really work and stuff like that, and
nice.
Get him where he needs to be.
Cool. Oh, we have a question from the chat. Jeffrey wants to know, do you have any tour dates planned?
Oh, good question, Jeffrey.
As of our bass player DC, his father passed last year, and so we just brought in a new bass player named David, and it was a pain in the ass to find a drummer when our last guy, he took paternity leave from the band and from work, and was just like, I'm just going to focus on the kids. So we auditioned drummers for quite a little while, and our rhythm and lead guitar player Joe, we'd get drunk at a bar or whatever, and we'd be watching a band, and he's like, I could do that, I could do better than that. And I'm like, well, can we stop auditioning people like all
And just
together,
yeah,
and you just do it? Like, I could find a
yeah.
guitar player in 20 minutes. And
It's hard to find a good drummer.
especially one that's not in 5
Yeah.
other projects at the same time. But we're still getting Joe completely up to speed on drums, still getting David completely up to speed on bass, and so
And I'm only in three projects.
only
I
in 3, not
know.
5.
Only three.
Only 3.
But
One of them isn't even close to playing shows.
give us 3 or
Like, we
4
can't
months,
even
and
get a
we'll
band
put some
practice
we'll put some
together.
dates on the board. We're working on some local events, try and get these guys their feet wet. This is
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
this is Julian's first metal project he's been in, and this is probably, I think this Friday will be his 3rd show with us. So, we got to get him a little deeper than cherry pop to get him road ready, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. I get what you mean. Definitely. So you're working on that. Have you guys been on tour before?
Yeah, we've done some Southwest regional runs
Okay.
with some local bands here. We did a 4-date run, COVID 2021, and we hit Virginia, Kansas, and Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut. So we've done 3, I guess you'd call them runs more than tours, but we've
Okay.
definitely gotten out of Texas enough.
Cool.
We'd
That's
love to do
really
it a lot more. You can only play your, hometown so many times before you get bored as shit. So
right. Yes. Got to get out of that rut. Definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I heard like little snippets of your history as a musician, more currently. So I guess within
Yeah.
maybe the last decade. But what's your journey as a musician? Like,
Like-
where'd you get started? Like, when did this journey begin?
And what inspires you?
Honestly, I couldn't see myself as a kid doing choir or anything like that. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so we do a lot of in-person speaking, and that was the last thing I wanted to do. I would rather hold something and have something else talk for me. I did door-to-door ministry until I was 14, 15 years old. So come middle school, I opted out of choir because I didn't want to do something else with my voice. I'd talked to enough people in an uncomfortable fashion. So when it came time to pick band, sat down. They didn't let you really pick your instrument. You got everybody that wants to play guitar and drums in a high school band or in a middle school band. And I saw Lisa Simpson play the saxophone. So I was like, okay, I'll recognize that.
Oh,
And
yes.
I started off
From my phone.
playing saxophone in 6th grade, and
That's bullshit.
played that until 11th grade, and got really into sports and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I started playing hockey with my buddy Scott, and he was a self-taught bass player. He was really into Cradle of Filth, bald eyeliner kid. And there were 2 other guys on the hockey team I played on, Devin and Corey, and one of them, one played drums, one played guitar. And so when we'd have sleepovers together, Push My Fingers Into My Eyes, that Slipknot song, that one had just came out. And so they're trying to figure it out in his living room. And the only thing I could, have the nuts to do at that time was hit the keg with the bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to be able to play with my friends. So I'd always rapped in the car or sung in the car and stuff like that. But, in that instance, I figured if I was going to do something, might as well do that and, be able to do something in the garage with my friends, and spitballed it from there. Honestly, that's sperm grade beginnings from 7th grade forward as far as music is concerned.
You have the best phrases, seriously. I dig
Well,
that.
thanks. I don't have an inner monologue, so what comes out comes out.
Well,
It's
that's
called
why we're live.
closed
You know,
captioning. It's called
we
closed captioning of the mouth.
yes, we
I
dig
just want
that.
to
Well,
recognize my bass player Brian is in the house.
hi,
He's my
Brian.
favorite bass player.
Thanks for joining us. You guys are awesome. All right.
I'm so excited for tomorrow.
What are some of the venues that you've played that you've really enjoyed playing?
I loved the hell out of playing Toad's Place in New Haven. It's one of the first places I found with.
It's got a cool name.
It's got a basement. It's got a main venue in the mid floor, and then it's got an upper venue. So we played a little festival there, and it was cool as shit. They treated us like royalty during COVID because we were one of the few people
What's
ballsy enough to go out and
Logan
travel.
like, though? I wonder.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. They had a back alleyway. We just loaded straight in. They had a ramp go straight up to the stage. It was their whole stage was large enough to backline the damn thing. It's a
I was
beautiful
just
fucking
wondering
venue.
if there were so many levels. Like, is there a stage?
They had a freight elevator to get stuff to the
Loaded.
second floor. Nothing really went into the basement, but
Okay.
they had a dumbwaiter in the basement. But you know, yeah, they had a wet bar for everybody downstairs in the green room, and
Damn.
the main auditorium. It was fucking great. That's probably
sounds
my favorite
bitchin'.
place I've ever played. As far as we've played Quick Trip Park here. That was kind of meh. But our local AA baseball teams and semi-pro baseball teams played there. They've got like some weird pool thing out in center field that was their claim to fame, but I
Whoa,
think that
that's
place is
cool.
closed down. White Oak Music Hall in Houston is really cool, but as far as an intimate setting, shit, what the hell's that? I'm gonna kick myself in the ass for not remembering that name. Porky's, maybe. Kirby's in Kansas is a fucking punk rock venue, and they pretty much broke down a wall, and they've got an entire pinball arcade next door, and then they've got an outdoor like cookout size venue outside. So when we played in the winter, just crammed us on like a little fucking 8x10 stage, and then probably 100 people in there. I love intimate, borderline violent little punk rock venues like that. They're fucking awesome.
Oh, that's so cool. I love
That's
that.
almost every single venue here in Seattle.
Yeah, that's pretty much our culture out here.
Yeah, we got a place
I
out in
call those
Denton called The
weekends.
Shed. That's just a shed. That's fucking bitchin'.
I love that. I fucking love that so much.
But as far as local here, the Rail Club we're playing on Friday, that's been our home bar for quite a while. We've got the Halton Theater down here as well. Nice 2-stage venue.
Cool.
Those are our two favorites down here, but I'm trying to think of anywhere else.
What's your dream venue?
Yeah.
Or dream anywhere in the world to fucking play?
Yeah.
I want to play Red Rock Amphitheater in Colorado.
Me too.
That's where she wants to play. That's so fucking awesome.
That is my wettest of dreams, is to play that.
Me too. Like, I'm from Colorado. Like, I was born in Denver, Colorado. So
dude, I've seen so many pretty videos of it and seen shithole bands play there, but I really fell in love with it when I watched the South Park special and watched Trey Parker and Matt Stone play all the South Park songs at Red Rock.
I have actually been to Casa Bonitas. If you've ever seen the Casa Bonita episode of South Park.
I know it's not striking a nerve. The one that constantly triggers in my brain is the World of Warcraft one. And
those are later seasons. This was an earlier season. Like, Cartman doesn't get invited to Kyle's birthday party at Casa Bonitas, but Butters does. So he locks Butters in a fallout shelter and goes to Casa Bonita. And like everything in Casa Bonita, I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. Like everything. And then Matt and Trey, Casa Bonita, unfortunately closed down during COVID because they couldn't keep up. Matt and Trey freaking bought Casa Bonita and they're reopening it.
Hell yeah.
I'm so pumped. Like, we gotta go see Metallica in Denver and go to Casa Bonita.
Okay, I'll look at the dates. I would love to see
you. Are invited too, Cam. Let's go.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the virtual arm twist.
twist my arm. Oh, Metallica.
Going on an adventure, kids.
Yes, I love it. Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to ask now because I got thinking about Metallica in Denver.
I'm sorry, but that was an epic
Story
combo.
time. Yeah.
Ooh, yay.
Okay.
Yes, story
You want
time. That's my favorite. What kind of weird shit have you guys like happen when you're on tour or shows?
There's always weird.
Because there's always weird shit.
We got hit with a blizzard on the way home from Connecticut, and had the wipers going so fast that they started to melt and fuse to the front windshield. We were having rolled out. We stopped at a one of the gas stations that was on that turnpike and got a thing of the windshield wiper fluid, and we're just hanging our arms out and pouring it on the windshield on the way home.
Oh my God.
As far as danger is concerned, that's one. That show we played up at Toad's Place was really cool. A lot of the big, the touring bands, their bands wouldn't go out, so all their little cover bands and stuff like that got to pop out. So we got all the bands we ended up playing with up in New Haven were like Mark Rizzo from Soulfly and El Nino. Like, he's got a tribute band called Hail the Horns that was up there playing.
Nice.
That's I can't even caught me on the spot with that one. As far as wild dumb shit, our one of our original guitar players, Jameson, wanted to do the fucking rock and roll thing and like throw TVs and do all that dumb shit, and he got us almost banned from Zombies Bar in San Antonio because he finally got drunk enough and got a wild hair of his ass and just flipped a table just to flip it so he could do something edgy. He one of our brother bands that was touring with us, he duct taped cardboard boxes all over their car just to be funny.
Oh my
Be
God.
a jackass. As far as tomfoolery, there's that one. Let's see. We played with a Slipknot tribute band full of teenagers called Slapnuts. That was
That is such a teenage
I don't know
name.
I don't know if the sticker will go back to where it is, but you can read it backwards. I still have it.
Oh my gosh, I wonder.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's hilarious. Did they wear masks too?
They did the mask, they did the orange jumpsuits, whole fucking shooting match. It felt like a sauna up there. They probably had 200 people in that upstairs.
So I just recently saw Slipknot like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, you saw Slipknot right after I saw Metallica.
Yeah. So I saw them about 2 weeks ago. And it was their 25th anniversary of all their old shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they had their old masks on. So there's Corey with the weird like braids and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're wearing their red jumpsuits, all of them. And I'm just like, there was no fire this time because it was in an amphitheater. So no fire. But it was hot that day too. And I was thinking, oh my God, I can't imagine how those guys feel in their masks. With the lights flashing. Like,
Yeah. Well, we know how we feel. I mean, so we're both drummers. And it gets fucking hot up there when you're under the lights in a venue.
You got a prima donna in your band that enjoys a fog machine, which just this sugar water that just.
Oh my God, I die up there. I'm like trying to drum just.
yeah, I can't deal with it. I've got sensitive larynx or something. I can't fucking take that
cool,
sugar water
but
crap.
yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, we had to do that fog during that music video I was talking about. It was like,
yeah, you did.
It was so much fog. I mean, when we opened the garage, it was like this whole entire cloud just comes. Thank God.
I can only imagine what it was like being in that garage with that.
Hot. It was really hot.
And having that fog just like build up because that fog, it gets in your lungs.
Well, luckily I was wearing like something that was cool enough. It was like that little dress, but like sometimes depending on where you're at or what you're wearing, you're going to sweat your ass off too. Like
you're doing full cardio enough as it is.
I was going to say, we're drummers. We're going to sweat as it is. Like, I've never done a show without sweating.
Oh my God. No, like the drummer's always sweating. Like, yeah, we're always hot. If you guys are cold up front, we're fucking hot.
Well, not a chance in hell. I sweat like a whore in church, and I'm like
You know,
5'7", but I'm thick.
I
I
gotta give it to
I got a dump truck
vocalists.
under
I
me.
gotta give it to vocalists because it wasn't until like I was able to like drum and sing to really appreciate like
Oh,
all the work it takes to sing in itself.
yeah.
And then doing karaoke, like I'm just like moving around and singing, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, like I can't
Well,
do
that's why I
this.
wear the headset. That's why when we
Yeah.
met, I inspired you to do the headset because I
Yeah.
want to be able to move and dance with my drums. I'm
Yeah,
a drummer first. I sing,
yeah.
but I don't want to have to think about where my microphone is. It can follow me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to
I
find
move around too much to just be. I'm looking over here. I'm looking over, and I gotta see where I'm gonna hit
Oh
it.
man, our former drummer AJ had one of those diva mics. He loved that damn thing.
fucking love mine too, man. I
I
do.
love mine too, and I need to
Yep.
start using it more. Oh, I wish I would have brought it with me and surprised the guys tomorrow with it. Sorry, Brian. Maybe
Next week.
next week.
Next week. Oh man, they are awesome. I love it. So yeah, it's a must, especially if you're the lead vocalist, which I am. I'm the lead vocalist and drummer, so it's a lot.
Yeah, like
Double duty.
I
It is
just do
dude.
some ahs and oohs and
And the ahs and oohs add so much to it. Like when other people are singing and layering with you, it's fucking magic, dude. Do you have any other stories you want to share with us?
right.
We kind of got
Um,
off topic there.
no,
Took
you're
it
good.
off-
You're
I got
good.
15 minutes.
As far as really,
That blizzard was gnarly, man. That would scare the shit out of me.
we had a guitar player. He's no longer with us for this reason, but he got a little too drunk probably the second time. It was at our album release show, and he went to go step to put his foot up on a monitor that wasn't there, and we were wearing tactical vests as part of our getup. And if it didn't
Okay.
have the buddy carry handle on the back of it where I could have caught him, he'd have walked directly off stage and racked himself on the front end thing.
I would have let him, dummy.
Midway through the set too. So
Bye.
Oh my
as far as
god.
crazy stuff, not really. Everything just kind of melds together. I've gotten to play with quite a few people that I looked up to as a child that I didn't think that I'd get to the chance to. I've gotten
That's
to share the
cool.
stage with Phil Anselmo and down here at
Nice.
Amplified Live. We've gotten to play with Il Nino a couple of times down
I
here.
love El Nino.
I'm not the biggest Trapped fan in the world, but we're playing with them and Smile Empty Soul in November here, and I loved Smile Empty Soul growing up as a kid. We got
What was that weird thing that was going on with Trapped a while back? Like everybody was like hating on Trapped for a minute.
He did an interview, from what I can recall from the magazines I've read, where he was talking about a double standard between older men with young women and older women with young men. And, how when he was a kid, I think he's in his 40s now, but, you had movies like Porky's and stuff like that, where the substitute gym teacher was betting was betting down with like a 10th
Okay,
grader
that
or
is
something
true.
like
That is true.
And so like he just brought that, to the interviewer's attention. It was like, no, there's a double standard here. And he's like, if I would have told, my dad that I'd done something with a substitute teacher, he'd have given me a high five. He wouldn't have told me to go to the cops. He wouldn't have told me to do this or that. And that was part of the uproar that got written up about him from what I could gather. And then he just went off the deep end a couple of times drunk live with politics and bullshit. And he's independent or Republican, and that caused a shitstorm. So, I mean,
you just got to keep politics the fuck out of shit.
Well, and then the more people that would bandwagon and argue with him in his chats, he's cliche jock mentality. He doesn't let anybody tell him what to do or ever tell him that he's wrong. So it just became a flame war, and he said
Whoa.
more and more heinous shit, and
Dang.
it was just gross. But
Yeah,
that's not
that
why
sounds-
I'm doing
But
that event. I
hey.
love Smile Empty Soul, and
Right, I was gonna
whatever.
say, but hey, you know what? Like, Trapped isn't the only band playing that night.
No,
so.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I still love Headstrong. I was an angsty 14-year-old boy once. I still like, you know, it
Right.
came on the radio same time as Papa Roach. Like, I can hate the artist and love the art. I think there's a differential between that.
Yes.
Right. Oh, exactly. Like, I hear you. Like, when all that shit came out about Marilyn Manson, I've listened to Manson since I was a kid, and
Well, and didn't he get exonerated?
Wait, what happened with Manson now?
There, I thought
go ahead. You might know more. He got in a bunch of trouble because he was
he had some essay stuff called out against him,
Yep.
and I think he ended up taking that lady to court. He just released a new single, and like I don't think with label backing or even independent backing, he'd be able to get that out in front of an audience if he was still in a canceled state. You just never hear about when people are exonerated anymore.
Yeah.
So what happened? Wait, what happened?
Something. Well, he was accused of sexual assault.
Yeah.
Well, essay.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, very sad for any victims that have to. But that aside, I'm not for what he did. I'm for the music and the other musicians that are involved in his music, because it's something that spoke to me as a kid in a totally different way, and something that he said it in an interview, at least in the past 3 years, I want to say that, he did not, I guess, cast a shadow on the fact that he was like that. He was very blatant in some of his music that he is.
I mean, the guy he's got a foam shooting dick that he takes on stage with him.
Right. Yeah. So he's
dude
like,
wears fake rubber boobies.
Yeah. So he has always been open about what a freak he is, he's not hidden that. So
wasn't his first album called Freak Show or something?
I think so.
The Dope Show.
Dope Show. There we go.
Fucking close.
He was fucking crazy back in the day, man. Like, he had his urban legends and stuff about the rib or whatever, but he was very blatant about what a creepy freak he was. And
I read some weird ass shit in the Rolling Stone magazines about Marilyn Manson and the shit that went on when he was growing up with his grandparents and stuff.
So no, I'm not for Marilyn Manson the person and what horrible things he's done.
No, but his music's pretty all right.
I like the music. So you can appreciate the art and not the artist. Totally agree with you there, Cam.
Carlos Coy from South Park Mexican, same thing. I like SPM. But yeah, Carlos Coy's gross.
Yeah.
So I had somebody pop in the TikTok. Hi, Jeff. Do you got any questions for us?
You right?
I'll see if he types something back. What are you going to ask?
Escalade.
Well, I had a question. Actually, Crash had asked it a little bit earlier, and you kind of touched on it throughout the show. But who are your inspirations in music?
Yes.
I was a big new metal kid when I finally did deep dive into stuff. I'm a huge Fred Durst fan. I'm a Corey Taylor I emulated and learned to sing trying to parrot him. Chad Gray and Randy Blythe, two huge touchstones for me. Oh, thanks, Josh. I appreciate the comment.
Oh, that's sweet. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a song with Josh, and
put that up.
He was able to pinpoint my my As They Lay Dying Tim Lambesis influence. He wanted to do a song with me, and he's like, hey, what are your favorite 3 As They Lay Dying songs? And I gave it to him. He's like, look what I queued up. Forever was right here. This was kind of the vibe I was going for on it.
Nice.
So as far as stuff like that, I think the only other one I'm not mentioned off the top of my head, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I'm a huge 36 Crazy Fist fan, and that's probably my strangest vocal influence. But I think I gave you 6, and there's my top 6.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, and you can have many influences. That's cool.
Dude, one of my influences, I know I will never be able to play drums like him, ever on this fucking ever planet
Always
time
an
space.
inspiration too.
But he is my inspiration. Like when I listen to John Boakland, former drummer of Devil Driver, like
Mhm.
Oh, so good. Yeah, that's a
like
damn
Dude,
drummer.
he gives me
Des
shivers.
Safaro is a fucking personal hero of mine. I just
Yeah.
You
went
know,
and
I've
saw
met
Cold
him on
Chamber at
several times. I've had Hennessy on his bus with him.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
and he is, so there was this guy, it's Seattle, and Des is there, and we're on his bus, and we're having Hennessy and stuff, and this kid gives Frankenstein, his, like, tour manager, a
Mhm.
letter. And he's like, "Can you give this to Des?" And he's like, "Yeah." So Frankenstein gives it to Des. Des reads this letter right then and there, just reads it, and he's like, "Excuse me, I gotta go handle some stuff." He goes out there and is talking to this kid and gives him vocal lessons right there on the freaking streets, right, like
Oh
right
wow,
before the show.
that's cool.
Oh, Des is amazing. He remembered when I met him in California even.
Oh man, that is very cool.
He
That's
is
awesome.
he he's short as shit.
Oh, I've gotten to stand next to him once or twice. He's right at my height. I'm right between 5'6" and 5'7". He's right there with me.
Because I'm 5'5" and I think I'm taller.
Really? He was shorter than you? Maybe he was wearing his
I
big stupid boots like he usually does.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
went and saw him with
I'm like, no. When I saw him, he was wearing tenny runners and he was short as shit. And I was like, oh, like,
Hey, I
but
stand a short king as a short king. So
And you know
dude,
what? There's a lot of people in metal
is
that
one of
are.
my
Yeah, like a lot of people in metal are. Like it's I don't want
yeah,
to say it's rare, but like I wouldn't consider myself tall, but I'm like
where
towering
is it?
over people sometimes.
hell yeah.
Yes.
Where
Nice,
can
nice.
you see it?
Yeah, I got you. That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
So
no.
cool.
Double Driver is my jam. And John, like I said, John Bookland is one of my favorite drummers of all time.
I wonder if I still have it on the wall. I had the Rock and Fucking Roll record with the ice cream
Ooh,
truck on it signed. I didn't even get it signed myself. I found it at a Half Price Books in a jewel case, and it was an autographed Cold Chamber album.
that's
Oh,
fucking
that's cool as
awesome.
shit.
Yes, score.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn it, I wish I had it on the wall. I have a lot
Oh
of really
my
cool stuff.
gosh. So, speaking of drummers, Paul Watson, the original drummer for the band I play in, Dylan
Okay.
plays the victim.
Nice.
He's like, Brian, he the man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
already know. We already know, Paul. But thanks for tuning in.
All right, Cam. So we have just under 10 minutes left. So we
Mhm.
want to have you promote anything that you want to promote. Like, where can our fans follow you? Where can we find your music videos, and what should we be looking out for as far as shows and such?
I was just gonna say, what shows you got planned?
Yeah.
As far as to find anything, we got the URL cutthroatconspiracy.com. We've got our show calendar up. We've got a shit heap load of merch on there. We can drop ship you just about anything.
Yes.
Sign up for our mailing list. When we finally do leave the state, we would definitely post up on that. All of the links to everything can be found at cutthroatconspiracy.com. We've got 3 music videos that are already released and up on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook. We've got probably another 2 or 3 lyric videos and some playthroughs if y'all want to learn to play any of the stuff, or just want to see how awkward a neck down guitar field of view looks. We try and do a live practice session once every week on our TikTok. It's at Cutthroat Conspiracy
That's
TX
cool.
on that. Shit. As far as shows are concerned, we're playing this Friday with Widow 7 and Transient at the Rail Club Live, and then November 15th with Trapped and Smile Empty Soul. That's also at the Rail. We've got Dead Weight coming out. That's going to be a combo music video release and single release, pretty much streaming everywhere. That's going to be October the 18th. That's going to come out. Um, that should we should be releasing behind the scenes videos and playthroughs of each part in accordance with that shortly thereafter. But I think that touches everything.
Oh my gosh, you
I
guys have
have
so
a
many great
question. I have
things.
a question.
What's on your mind?
Who does all your social media stuff? Is it
Oh.
you?
Ah,
That's like a full-time job in itself, I feel
yes.
like. And do you guys have a band manager, or are you also that
Ah,
guy too?
them
Gotcha.
as well.
Matt Franks, he does graphic design for us. He taught me how to do video editing, and I've been learning that on TikTok. So I've taken over some of the music, just the general day-to-day promotions and stuff like that off him. I promote all of our stuff on our various social medias and handle the lives and the booking. As far as the pretty shit, like he designs our flyers. He he shot the video, he produced the video. We did an AI music video, and
Wow.
he coded and cut and programmed that whole thing. So like
Okay. I know what the video is.
he's he's one of those guys that's never he only whole asses things. He hasn't half assed anything a day in his life. And
You gotta find a whole asser.
yeah.
You
There's
know,
one of those phrases again. I'm stealing
Yeah.
it. Whole
You
ass.
just
Take it.
you gotta have whole assers in your life. I'm a whole asser.
No.
That too.
My new one is like I would
You're a
love
whole
everybody to
asser.
take a gander and listen to the music. And if you like it, share it with your friends. And if you hate it, share it with your enemies. I don't care. Just share it.
I love that.
It's a great motto to
Share
live
to your
by.
enemies. You know what? Fuck you.
Go on a t-shirt. Oh my gosh,
Guys,
thank you so much, Cam. We've got about 3 more minutes left. Do you have anything you want to add, like advice to other
I was
musicians?
gonna
that
say,
have-
or inspirational, like, say,
Honestly, I hate being the never give up guy. Everybody sucks. You can't be afraid to start and struggle. I don't care if it's learning craft origami. I don't care if it's cooking. You're going to burn some shit. You're going to break some shit. That's how you learn. Talent, unless it's, a direct gift from on high, it's effort over time. That's all it is. And if you want to do something, you're going to suck. Don't be afraid to suck. You can put yourself out there all the time. I don't know if y'all are Hardy fans right now, but his first EP was a photo of a napkin he was dropped in his tip jar that just said quit. And
good.
he's currently doing stuff with Beartooth and on tour with fucking Jelly Roll and shit like that. He just dropped a single with Fred Durst. The guy's fucking
Good for
amazing. I love the
him.
shit out of him. But like,
Fuck yes.
yeah, don't be afraid to suck ass for a little while.
Came
It's
a
gonna
long
happen.
way from that napkin.
You know who came to mind though?
What's that?
Corey Feldman.
You know what? He can keep going. He's for somebody. He's currently touring on that Misfits tour with Limp Bizkit. He's somebody.
I know
bag.
he's
Dude,
like touring with Limp
always-
Bizkit.
Somebody something. That's true. That's true.
I don't believe in
Epic
guilty
guitar
pleasures.
solo, bro.
Yeah,
Epic.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I don't like every band, but if someone's got a following or something, I just assume I'm not their fucking target demographic. Like,
Yep.
you might be somebody's bag of tea.
Agreed.
Like,
Yes.
fuck, man, Gigi
You
Allen had
may
a
not
career.
be
If he can do it,
somebody's
anybody
bag
can.
of tea, but you're somebody's shot of tequila.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Cam, it has been so amazing hanging out with you. Thank you so much for
Yeah, no
being
worries.
on.
Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, it's been so
Absolutely.
much fun.
Oh my gosh, can't wait for that new music video. Keep us in the loop on anything you want us to promote.
Yes, drop it here.
Shout out to the
Definitely
rest
will.
of your band, Cutthroat Conspiracy guys. Go check them out. Follow them. All right, that's the end of our show. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. I will take us out, baby. Let's go. Good night, everybody. Stay safe and we love you. Bye.